What is up, y'all? This is Isba here, Isba Sar, to give you his review of WWE's TLC pay-per-view. Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. TLC happened last night. Gotta say, a really good show overall. Overall, I wouldn't say it was worth the $40 if you're in the buying market there, but it did have some really good stuff on it, and there wasn't one bad match on the card. There were a few matches that could have been better, but there was not one bad match. So, anyway, let's get it kicked off. The show kicked off with Christian versus Shelton Benjamin for the ECW Championship in a ladder match of the night. They kicked it off with the match of the night, and I think 90% of the people going into it knew that this was going to be the match of the night. This was amazing, in my opinion. This was an awesome ladder match. They did very new innovative spot, like Shelton coming off the ladder with the clothesline was like a mad markout moment. Christian frog splashing through the ladder. We've seen the frog splash on, but I can't recall one through the ladder. Just correct me if I'm wrong on that one, because I honestly can't remember. What they did was they sort of differed from the normal ladder match spots, and then when one guy tried to do the normal spots, the other guy blocked it, and then they would have to do something else original. That's what I loved about this match. This match was nearly 20 minutes of just, no pun intended, but total non-stop action. I know quite a few people are going to tell me I'm overrating this, but I honestly think it was this damn good. The only botch spot of the match, which I was shocked at, because when I saw Shelton, I know Shelton's really good with ladder matches, but I also know he's can be really sloppy in ladder matches. But the only one very extremely small botch spot was when the ladder was on the rope and Shelton tried to pull it right back into Christian, then it just sort of fell off and didn't do much. So, but that was very overlookable. I give this 4 1/4 stars. Like I said, some people are going to think I'm overrating it, but I think it was that damn good. So, yeah. Next up was John Morrison versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship. First shocker of the night. I cannot think of anyone who, well, like maybe a few people who said that Drew was going to win the title tonight. He is on a winning streak, so I guess I sort of did see it coming, since I don't think they're going to have John Morrison and the winning streak if they're going to emphasize it that much. Anyway, this was a good match. I don't think anyone expected it to be as good as it was. Like, I think people expected it to be slower and not have as good of a pace as it did. People are really looking at John Morrison's botch with the fuck is that, like that split-legged move? Sorry, I can't remember what it's called now. Onto him, but that was I believe that was a botch done on purpose, just so Drew could capitalize on it. So overall, really good well, not really good, but just a good match. I give it 3 stars on the dot. So up next was Mickie James versus Michelle McCool for the Women's Championship. Funny thing is, the titles that people thought were going to switch hands tonight did not, and the titles that people didn't think were going to switch hands, they actually did. Which is the most shocking one I'll get to in a minute. But Mickie James versus Michelle McCool. Better than most women's matches you'll see in the WWE. Still not very good, but very, very decent, and a lot better than what we've seen. I'd say this is probably the best women's match in the WWE that the WWE has had since Michelle McCool versus Melina from, I believe that was Night of Champions. So, just an overall decent women's match. You know the feud is going to continue. It did have a pretty nice pace to it. It did have some really good stuff. The crowd was going crazy for Mickie, and yeah, I'll give it 2 1/4 stars. So yeah, definitely something good for a women's match. Up next, up next was a table match: John Cena versus Shameus. Now this has to be one of, like, I know WWE is doing the Slammy Awards tonight, and this is not on the most shocking moment of the year, but I think they're probably have to do some kind of swoop off tonight, since this is the most shocking thing I've seen in the WWE since probably No Way Out, when Edge came and beat up Kofi and came in there. But this is even more shocking than that. You think of all the guys who've been in WWE for this long and still have not won a title and deserve it, like Shelton Benjamin, like Charlie Haas, like all these guys like that. R-Truth, John Morrison. And who do they give the title to? They give the title to Sheamus. This was a good match, though. This was a good match. Had a nice pace to it. I gotta add, though, the crowd on the pay-per-view last night did suck balls. Like, they barely went nuts for anything. And, like, it's not the fault of the wrestlers. I think that's just the fault of the crowd. I don't know what the hell they did, but it was like zombies out there. Like they went crazy when they were supposed to, but like but like right before a big spot happened, but in between the spot they were just like dead. So I don't know, but this match was overall very good. Well, not very good, just good. Had some nice stuff, and like like there were so many times when I thought the match was going to end, and I would have bet everything that John Cena was going to be walking out with the belt tonight. Last night, and Shameus won. Shameus won. He did it in a fluke way though, and I think that the WWE were very, very. If they wanted to do it this way, they were extremely smart about doing this ending. Like this was the perfect way to end it. Because John Cena and Sheamus were on the top rope fighting. It looked like John was going to superplex him, and then Sheamus just sort of like shoved him back, and it looked like John Cena slipped. So that they can play it off like a fluke win. Maybe even John Cena will win the belt back tonight or in a couple weeks, or even at the Royal Rumble. So, but this was a good match. I'll give it 3 stars on the dot. Did have a nice pace to it. I wish it would have been a little shorter, but it did have a nice pace to it. Up next was the Undertaker versus Batista in a chairs match. This to me was the letdown match of the night. These two guys had 4, count them, 4 match of the year candidate. When I say match of the year, I mean like 4 stars more maybe. In 2007, WrestleMania, Backlash, Cyber Sunday, and Survivor Series. This match was decent at best. I don't know what it was. Like the crowd. I know that they sucked tonight, but like they were barely even into this at all. And I understand that these two guys did have a harder match to work since the guys they had just seen a ladder match and a table match, and these guys only had chairs to work with. I think it was ROH Styles who said that this should have been just a no disqualification match. That is the smartest thing anyone's ever said about this match, because this match was a very bad idea. Should have just been a no holds barred match, or better yet, should have just been a singles match. And then maybe they could have gone on to a no holds barred match at the Rumble, but it was okay. Like it wasn't bad by any means necessary, but it was just decent. I'll give this match 2.5 stars. Not anything to cry home about, but not anything bad either. So. And the ending was a little stupid since Dave would have gotten disqualified because he hit the low blow, and then Undertaker hit him with a tombstone. So, and this was the main title that everyone thought, that a lot of people thought were going to switch hands tonight. Because a lot of people have been hearing that Batista's going to have the title by the Rumble time, maybe at the Rumble, but a lot of people thought he was going to win it here. So, anyway, decent match, 2.5. 2.25, 2.5 area. Up next was Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton. Good match. Really good match. Better than the 2 matches they've had on Raw the past couple weeks, but then again, those matches have been like 5 minutes long. So this was very entertaining. I really, really liked it, and it does show that the WWE does want to use Kofi to his full advantage. Like he didn't win this match, but he did have a great performance in it, and it does show like that this feud could actually go on and do something more. I give the match about 3 1/4 stars. Very nice pace to it, and just all around a good match. So, and then up next was the TLC match for the Unified Tag Team Champions. It was DX versus JeriShow. Now, I've seen on these websites everyone predicted that JeriShow was going to retain tonight, and last night, and DX won. DX won the tag team titles. I'm not, I know a few people are going to bitch about that, Triple H, using his creative thing, whatever. It was a bit of a markup moment for me since DX has never been tag team champions, and this was a good match. Not great, but good. They didn't, they used the stipulation nicely, but I wish they would have used it a bit better than they did. It was still a really good match, had some really good spots, Jericho's fall to the outside was crazy, through the table, head first, and Big Show splitting apart the ladder was awesome, and just so many good spots, a few good spots in here. So I'll give the match 3 1/2 stars. It was a bit too long. I would have cut maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 minutes from the match, since the crowd did fall a little bit out of it toward the end. But when Shawn won the title, everyone just went crazy since that is his hometown. So it was a nice moment, and I don't think the DX are gonna hold the belts for very long, since apparently they do want to do Shawn and Triple H at Mania, which I have no problem with. So anyway, overall, good show. I give it about a 7 out of 10. Not anything you have to spend money on, but it was good.